Financial Fridays, we're back for another installment. This is Winford Burns, your money mentor, also the Global Drive Network founder and CEO. So I'm going to give you guys just a few moments to come in, but I'm excited about today's Financial Fridays, and I hope you are too. So the title of today's episode is The Cost of Financial Freedom. So as you come in the room, I need you guys to do me a favor. First of all, hit the, as you come in, make sure you say hello and show me some love. And then make sure in the bottom left-hand corner you hit the share button. So for most of you all, it is the little icon with the plus signal next to it, to the right of it. So hit that so we can share this. I want this episode to go viral. So for those of you guys who are new, Financial Fridays, every Friday, I come to you with some type of learning, teaching, or whatever about money. Some of these are more technical than others. I just want, and of course, as always, if you have questions, you can send them to me by email at themoneymentor1@gmail.com. Again, themoneymentor1@gmail.com. moneymentor1@gmail.com. So, again, as you come in the room, say hello. Give me some thumbs up, fellas, or some hearts, ladies, and then we will hit that share button in the bottom left-hand corner, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so I hope you guys are ready to go. So am I. So again, I call this one today the cost of financial freedom. So I'm going to give you three things, and then we're going to get out of here. All right. Again, the cost of financial freedom. So, if you guys saw the post that I put up about today, I put up something that was near and dear to my heart that many people don't know about me, and that is that I enjoy riding motorcycles. I am, I love it. It became a passion of mine, something that I love and enjoy doing, probably about 2006, 2005, 2006. So I started doing it, and on that picture that is actually it was, but we'll get into that. Those are actually the motorcycles that we purchased. So in about 2000 and in 2001 I graduated from Langston University, which is a historically black college in the state of Oklahoma, and after that I began working for one of the big five banks in the country, and in the process of that got promoted to branch manager, where I managed the bank branch location. Had a great time doing it. We're pretty good at it, to the point where won several awards, several top manager awards, and in the process of that made some pretty good bonus money during this time. So one quarter from the bonus money that I made, first of all, I had to convince my wife to allow me to buy it because I had never ridden a motorcycle before, and she thought I was going through a midlife crisis, and I think I was probably like 20, had to be maybe 26, 27, around that age. So I was not going through a midlife crisis, but she thought I was. So I convinced her, and my dad convinced my stepmother to for us to buy these motorcycles as a condition of buying these motorcycles. Hey, Candace. Hey, Eunice. How you doing? Rashad, I think I said hello to you, but if I didn't, my apologies. So as a condition of buying these motorcycles, we had to go to motorcycle class. So it's a weekend class that they teach you how to ride a motorcycle, and if you pass this class, so it's like an all day Saturday, all day Sunday course. So if you pass this class, then at the end of the 2 days you get a certificate, and as a part of this certificate, you get like a discount. I think, if I remember correctly, it's like a 20% discount off of your motorcycle insurance. So of course I'm there because, number one, I don't know how to ride a motorcycle. Number two, I'm always down for saving some money. So we go to the class, and at the end of the class, before they officially let you graduate, you have to take a test. So you have to take like this course. They've set up a course that you have to show all of the skills that are needed: how to stop, how to take off, how to go over railroad tracks, how to stop quickly. All of these. How to shift gears. So you got to do all of these things in order to be able to pass this course. So you do all of that. You pass. If you pass that part, then you take a written exam, and then you pass the written exam, then you pass the class. Well, we went through this whole 2 days, and they're not on like actual like large size motorcycles. If you guys saw the picture, you saw my bike is pretty big, but they give you like the little smaller ones, and so as a simulation for what the bigger one's going to be like. And they're about 600. For those of you guys who ride motorcycles, they're like 600s in the classroom. My bike that I bought was not a 600. I bought a 900. So again, this all makes sense to you in a second. So we're taking the course, and my dad and I are taking the class, and we're having a good time, struggling, but we're having a good time. And it gets to the point where we are riding, doing the final portion of the class, and the final test, not the written test, but the we have to maneuver the bike, and I failed. So anyway, I tell you all this, I failed the class. Let me take it again, and I passed. And then the second time I did, like I said, I passed. Like they let you literally, like you get off, they give you your score, and they say, okay, take a few minutes and try it again. And they tell you what you did wrong. You can practice for a few minutes if you want, and then you go and do it again. So I did that, and I passed. But what was funny, of course, my dad passed. I failed, my dad passed. So that was obviously like a joke between he and I that, he's supposed to be the old person, and he passed, and I'm the young person who's supposed to know what they're doing, and I didn't, and I failed the course. So anyway, we get the motorcycle. Probably the next week we go to buy the motorcycles, and the place that we are buying them from is kind of like it's on a hill in like a curve type street where people are flying like it's 40, 50 miles an hour street, or at least that's how it feels. Now, mind you, my dad has never on a street ridden a motorcycle. Okay, so we've never ridden a motorcycle. We are probably in actual riding distance, 20 minutes from our house. Okay, and so we get my wife takes us to get the motorcycles. I'm excited, as you guys can see by the pictures. By the picture, my motorcycle was clean. Like our bikes were sharp, and so we get out, and first of all to get the motorcycle, like again, the place is kind of on a hill, but the garage is at the bottom, and you have to ride up this very steep driveway to get there. I've never ridden a motorcycle outside of class before, and I get on the bike, and the guy's like, "All right, as sure as you can go," and I got to ride home. I hit the accelerator to try to go, get up about a third of the way through, and I stopped, and I started coming back because I forgot to shift into the next gear. Again, never done it before, didn't know what I was doing. So the guy the mechanic rides it up the thing, was like, "Hey, don't worry about it," gives me some pointers. We get on these bikes and we drive off. All right. That has absolutely nothing. That does have some. So in the time of this, we're riding home. Again, this 15-minute trip turns into probably a 2.5 hour terrible ride. I talk about terrible. It was so scary. Like cars were zooming by us. Again, we didn't want to get on the expressway because we were afraid. So we took the side streets the whole way home. And it was just really, really, really scary. Literally, this 15-minute trip took us 2.5, 3 hours. And I literally had to call some of my friends who were expert motorcycle people to come and get us and ride home with us so we could make it the rest of the way home. And that's how I got home 2.5 hours later on a 15-minute ride. So why is this important? So this is important because some of the same things that happen during that entire motorcycle trip are some of the same things that are successes to your financial success. So I'm going to give you guys three things that you really need to think about in order to achieve financial success. So first of all, before I get into those three things, do me a favor. If you really are interested in becoming financially successful, go ahead and give me some hearts or give me some thumbs up to let me know that this is something that you're even really interested in. Or if you're really interested in doing it, if you really want to be financially free, if you want to be financially free, meaning out of debt, building wealth, in a better position for your family, then go ahead. Okay, I see a cut. I'm starting to see him. All right, give me some, because again, I think that's one of the reasons that we don't. No, don't get ahead of yourself. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. All right, so here are the three things. All right, cool. Here are the three things that you really have to, that you need in order to be financially free. These are the three things that are the cost of doing it. The first thing that you have that is a cost to being financially free is that it's going to take you. There is a cost of humility. Because in order for you to be financially free, you've got to be honest with yourself to say that what I am doing right now is not working. It is not leading me to the direction that I want to be in. It is not taking me to the destination that I want to. I've tried my way. I've done my plans. I've, done everything I can think of. I'm getting to the point where I am just extremely tired, and I am extremely getting to the point where, for some, where I'm not motivated. I'm saying things like, well, maybe it's just meant for me to always be like this. Maybe there was just something, maybe this is, I've heard people even say, well, I just thought it might be God's will that that I struggle financially, or maybe there was just, something that my parents did or something that they taught me that made, that this is something that's just, where I'm going to be because I made some bad, or maybe I made so many bad choices in my life that I have no other choice but to live like this and be stuck or suffer through this. If that's what you really think, then you really need to understand that those are all not true. We need, in order to be financially successful, to have a level of humility where we say, look, again, I don't know what I'm doing. I just know that I want to do something different, or that I need to be someplace different. There is absolutely nothing wrong with asking for help. Humility says, I need help, and I need to go to somebody who is able to help me. I need a coach, I need a mentor, I need a financial advisor, I need a personal trainer, I need, a pastor, I need somebody in my life who is going to help me change the current state or the current direction that my life is going. And that takes a level of humility that most people won't need. Let me be completely transparent. I've said this before. I've told you all this. The Money Mentor has a money mentor. Let's be clear. Even though I teach this information to you all, I on a regular basis have people in my life who help me with my situation, because it's very easy for me to look at other people, and like in most instances, it's very easy for me to look at and diagnose other people. But sometimes it's more difficult for me to diagnose my own. So that's why in the medical profession, or in the psychologist profession, or the psychiatrist profession, they tell you that the worst patient is going to always be yourself. Because number one, you'll put everybody else ahead of you and treat them and never treat yourself. And the number two reason it is because, again, that sometimes we overlook certain things about ourselves that we wouldn't overlook about other people. And so we need to be honest and say, I need some help. So you have to be honest and realistic about your situation and say, I need some help, and I need some people or somebody who can coach and develop me. Here's another reason why humility is such a huge thing. Is when you make up in your mind that you need help and that you're going to reach out to a coach or to somebody like that. When you get to the point where you realize that what you're doing is not working, you then have to and you get that help. The next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have some very tough conversations with people. So if you are, whether you're married or whether you're single, you're going to have conversations with people who are in your circle to let them know that there are going to be some wholesale changes in your life, that you can't continue to do the things that you were doing before, that you're going to have to make some adjustments to your spending. You're going to have to make some adjustments to the way that you're living. You're going to have to make adjustments to the way that you're doing things, because currently the way that you're doing things is not working, and you've come to the conclusion that you need to make some adjustments, and you're willing to make whatever adjustments are necessary in order for you to change the trajectory, of your life. So it takes humility in order to do that. It takes seriously a level of humbling, like I said, of humbling yourself in order for you to be able to do that with your own life. I had a conversation with somebody recently where they were asking me something about something that was on television. Actually, I probably had this conversation a couple of times. Somebody asked me, well, Winford, have you seen? I forgot the name of it. And I said, no, I haven't seen it. And they were like, well, what did you have it on? You haven't got a chance to see it because it's on TiVo or something, or not TiVo, whatever it's called now. Or have you recorded it and you need to play it back? And I said, no, I didn't see it. Well, what do you mean you didn't see it? I said, well, look, I don't have cable. As a part of my plan to get to where I want to get to, one of the things that I had to cut out was cable, and I'm like, and so I'm okay with that. I can't right now. That's not in my budget in order to hit my financial goals. I'd rather take that $100 that I was spending on cable and use it for to pay off debt, or to put into my retirement plan, or into something else, or so those are sometimes some very difficult conversations to have. And if you're not in the right position, or you're not in the right mind space to do that, they're also very uncomfortable. They're very uncomfortable because, again, those are some things that you're going to have to do, some things that are going to be unconventional to the people that are around you. So you got to be humble. Number two, what's the number two thing that you got to have? Number two thing you got to have, and this is something I love, is you've got to have hustle. Because not as a part of this process, not only are you going to have to reduce what you're doing, but you're going to have to also make some other changes, again, that might require, when I say hustle, I'm talking about you might have to get another job. You might have to, on your current job, work longer in order to learn new skills. You might have to, instead of going out going out and hanging out and buying drinks, you might have to, go home and work on your website. Or you might have to, go to a conference instead of, where you can, network and do some, you might have to do other things that require a lot of things that, again, the other people won't have to do, that you might not be accustomed to doing. You might be used to, at 6 o'clock or 5:30 or 5 o'clock or whatever time, 11 o'clock if you work second shift or whatever, going home and sleeping. But you might have to say, okay, I need to spend the extra 2 to 3 hours a day, or the extra hour a day putting in this work. It might mean that, instead of me coming home, like I said, coming home and watching, whatever you do, or instead of you going out and hanging out, you might have to spend that extra time, like I'm doing today, working on your credit report and trying to, do the things that you have to do to fix your credit report. You might have to, instead of on your days off, staying in the bed all day, you might have to get up and come in to work on your off day in order to get some paperwork done, or get ahead of schedule, or make sure that you properly planned, or that you're on top of your training. Again, like I said earlier, you might have to get another job so that you can make some extra money, extra $500-600 a month, just so you can pay down your debt faster or quicker, or things like that. So these are all of the things that take hustle to do, that take extra work to do, that, again, are not comfortable for the average person to do, but they are necessary in order for you to hit your goals. So sometimes, again, so you got to have humility. The second thing you got to have is you've got to have hustle. The third thing you've got to have is you've got to have heart. So again, you've got to have humility, you've got to have hustle, and then the third thing you need is you've got to have heart. If you want to be financially free, then it takes you being able to say, listen, these two things that I have, this humility that I am practicing, this hustle that I'm doing, this is going to at times not feel comfortable. And you've got to have the intestinal fortitude in order to say, I'm going to stick this out, even though it doesn't necessarily feel good right now. Even though it is uncomfortable doing some of the things I have to do, I'm going to make these sacrifices today so that tomorrow I can live a better life. You got to say, instead of me, going and doing, even though I know this plan that I have in place right now, it's working. I can see it. I might not see the full results that I want to see, but I'm seeing some results right now that I know that lets me know that I'm going to my end result is going to be what I expect. And then on top of that, if you see, when I say hard, I also mean if you see that something's not working, or maybe the plan that you have in place was working and it stopped working, then I've got to have enough heart to say, okay, listen, I've got to make some adjustments again. In this process of becoming a financial independence and financial freedom, there are going to be some setbacks. And so you've got to be able to push through those setbacks in order to continue to reach your goals. I would love to tell you, guys, that there is no pain in doing this. I would love to tell you that. I would love to tell you that there is that all you got to do is is do these three things. Just snap your fingers real quick, turn around real quick, and then it's gonna all disappear. But I would be doing you a disservice if I told you that. The truth of the matter is that becoming financially free, depending on your situation, takes time, and it takes work, and it takes patience, and it takes sacrifice. But in the end, it's all of that thing that it took you to do it is worth it, because you are able to live the lifestyle that you want. I was asked a question once by a pastor who said, he asked me, he said, Winfred, would you rather go through 5 years would you rather go through 5 years of hell for 15 years of heaven? And at the moment, I said no, but he was right. He was in the context that we were talking about. I was like, I don't know about that, but I understood what he was saying, and he was right that it's going to take some time. Again, depending on your scenario, depending on how much debt you have, how much income you have, how much what you can change. You've got to be willing to say, listen, I am going to go all in for this period of time in order to make this plan a reality. I'm willing to do whatever I have to do, or I'm willing to do almost anything that is necessary to get rid of these student loans. I am committed that if it means I've got to be uncomfortable for 6 months or 6 years, I'm willing to do that so that I can get this weight of debt off of my shoulders. Here is some things that I don't think that we think about. If you look at debt statistics, do you know that people who have debt have higher levels of stress and have higher levels? And if you have higher levels of stress, that also means that it is affecting how well your body works. Debt is something that can literally kill you if you are not careful. Because, again, debt is something that, especially if you are, well, not even if you're a man or a woman, it affects every part of your life, because almost every decision that you make will be determined by the debt that you have. So if your financial situation is hard, there are certain choices you just can't make. There's certain things that you just can't do in that moment or in that season, because you are struggling and you are in a survival mode. And when we are in survival mode for too long, then it has a negative effect on our minds. It has a negative effect on our spirits. It has a negative effect on our psyches, which in turn have negative effects on our relationships with our wives and with our husbands. They have negative effects on with our work, with our employers and our employees, because we're now looking at them. I've been in this situation too, where I'm looking like, man, if this dude don't give me a raise, I don't care how I feel about this job, I got to go. And that is not the desired state that we should live in. We should be able to live or to work or be employed or self-employed in a position that fits our purpose, not in a position that fits our finances. Does that make sense? I'm gonna say it again. We should be living, whether you're working for someone else or for yourself, in a position that fits our purpose, not just that fits our pocketbooks. Again, you can make money. There's nothing wrong with money. I'm not one of them don't have money people. But at the same time, we cannot that cannot be the sole reason of how we make decisions. So I want to again remind you, got to have humility. You got to be able to say, listen, I am humble enough to understand that what I'm doing is not working and I got to do something different. Number two, you got to have hustle, meaning you got to be willing to put in some extra work. You got to be willing to put in that extra time in order to change your situation and put yourself back in the position that you want to be. And then number three, you've got to have heart, meaning you've got to be willing. You've got to stick with it even when it is hard. If you have those three things, I'm telling you, those are the cost of your financial freedom. Those three things alone right there. If you can, they're encompassing a lot of things, but if you can do those three things, I can promise you, you will be successful. It's going to take time, but you're going to be successful, and it's going to all be worth it, because in the process of recovering, in the process of making these changes, you will find and learn, not just learn about yourself, but you will learn about other people. You will learn how, you will learn and see and experience some things that I can't even put into words right now. So I just want you guys, again, to be encouraged. Hey, Auntie Donna, how you doing? I want you guys to be really encouraged by this and understand, again, if your financial situation is not where you want it to be, and and you're not on the right track, then you've got to make some changes today. Make them today. All right, and I'm gonna help you. So first of all, here it is. I got two things, and then we out of here. So here's my church announcement time. Here it goes. So we started our March boot camp group. I started that last night, and we taught, and we had a good class. So not tonight. So next month, so April, every month we start a new boot camp group. The first is gonna be still on Thursdays. So every Thursday we are having Money Mentor Boot Camp. So we are talking about, number one, I'm teaching you how to repair your credit. I'm teaching you. I'm not going to do it for you. That's a totally different price. I'm going to teach you how to repair your credit on your own. We're going to give you all of the information that you need, all the documentation that you need in order to do this. Here it is. As a part of this process, I'm going to tell y'all the end of this story. So I'm telling you guys about humility, about hustle, and about heart. But in a second, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to wrap this up for you, okay? So April boot camp, again, starts the first week first Thursday in April. I will put the link to the page where you can sign up. I'm going to keep the price the same. I was asked to keep the price the same. I will keep the price the same. So for those of you guys who don't know, for March, I dropped the price from $279 for 4 weeks to $29.99 for 4 weeks. I dropped the price because I want you to have it, and I realize if you've got $20,000 in credit card debt, you probably don't have $300 to pay me, and that's fine, because I want you guys to get the information. I want you guys to get what you need. So every Thursday for 2 hours, come hang out with me, and I'm going to teach you how to do it, okay? I'm going to teach you how to build your credit, how to fix your credit. The second thing I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you how to do a proper budget so you don't get yourself back into that position. I'm going to show you how to budget. I'm also going to show you the tools. I'm going to give you the tools that you need in order to maintain a budget. Then the third week, we talk about saving and investing. So I talk to you about how you can build your investment portfolio, how you can start to rebuild. That's week 4. Number 3, we talk about the debt snowball. So I'm gonna teach you guys how to snowball so you get out of debt. Okay, so number 1, we talk about credit. Week 2, we talk about budgets. Number 3, I'm gonna teach you guys, and we're gonna walk through how to do the debt snowball so you can get yourself out of debt. And then number 4, week 4, we talk about investment. So it's 4 weeks. Again, I teach you guys part of it, and then you guys, we walk through, get to ask questions. We get 2 hours. So, all right. So again, that's number 1. Number 2, April the 8th, Saturday, April the 8th, we are having our next, I'm hosting our next relationship forum in Chicago. So if you are in Chicago on April 8th, I want to see you at Just Us Hair Salon in Linwood. It's on Torrance. So I'll post that link as well so you guys can get signed up for that. So I'm going to be hosting. We got an awesome panel. Some of my Global Drive people are going to be there, but we got some new people as well that are going to be on this panel. So I want you guys to be there too. All right. Here is the end result. So in about 2000, so I got, you guys know, y'all probably don't know, but I am not married anymore. I'm divorced. But in the process of getting divorced, I lost everything. I just be straight up. I lost everything. And so in the process of doing that, that motorcycle that I so dearly love, I had to have a moment with myself I had to be honest that I needed to sell it. And again, absolutely love my motorcycle, but it came down to do I love this motorcycle that is a depreciating asset, or is it more important to get out of debt and pay off some of the things that I had created because of my whole meltdown during my divorce process. And so, of course, I chose that it was more important to sell it and to take that money and pay some things off, which I did. So I no longer have that motorcycle that I love. Why do I tell you that? Because for me, that was one of the most humiliating moments of my life. And I can literally remember sitting in the motorcycle shop that I sold the bike to in tears, because I had realized that I officially had nothing left from that period of my life. And in that moment, I also realized that it was time for me to start over and to rebuild. And so that's what I've been doing. So when I come to you as your money mentor, I'm not telling you something that I just learned from a book, y'all. I'm telling you these are the things that I live every day. So for those of you guys who have asked, here is the answer to the questions that you want to know. I am not a millionaire, but I do know the plan to get there. And so as I am teaching you how to walk to that spot, or if you don't want to be a millionaire, whatever it is, then I am walking it with you. I am recovering. I might be out of the harder stages of recovery, but I'm still recovering. So just like if you talk to anyone who's been in any type of recovery, they'll always tell you something like, yeah, I'm still an alcoholic, even though they might not have had a drink for some time. I am still in recovery and financial recovery, but my recovery process is a little bit further along. And and so again, I want to share with you the things that I've learned, the things that I've developed, the tools that have been beneficial for me, and we can work together to find the tools and things like that that'll work for you. So again, you have to have humility, you have to have hustle, and you got to have a whole hell of a lot of heart in order to do this. But it's in you, and so because I know it's in you, I want to walk through it with you. All right, guys, this has been Financial Fridays. I'm Winfred Burns II, your money mentor. Again, when you watch this video, please do me a favor and share it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at moneymentor1@gmail.com. That's moneymentor1@gmail.com. And again, I will put the links to the boot camp as well as to the relationship forum for April in the comments. So those of you who would like to join can. All right, guys, love you. Have a good day. I will talk to you soon.